Again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I am Princess Suraida Asmatiwalu. I'm going to tackle about quantity survey and cost estimates. First, what are the methods to be adopted for volume calculating? First here is from cross-section. Second, from spot level. Third, from contours. Define analysis of rate. When we say analysis of rate, determination of rates of work from the quantities and cost of materials and labors required is termed as analysis of rate. When we say a tender is an offer given in writing to execute specified articles or materials or a certain rate within a fixed time under certain conditions of agreement between the contractor and the party, which may be a government department or an individual. The third, define contract. When we say contract is merely an agreement being enforceable by law between two persons or parties. Another is, when we say contract here, is an agreement or yun yung kasulatan ng isang tao patungo sa isang tao, in short, in between two peoples. Another is, what are the types of culvert? Arc culvert, slab culvert, pipe culvert, and box culvert. What are the methods of estimate? There are two methods of estimate, the detailed estimate and abstract estimate. What are the types of estimate? Kanina sinabi natin is method of estimate. Ngayon naman is types of estimate. First here is a preliminary estimate or rough cost estimate. Second is plinth area estimate. Third, loop rate estimate or cubical content estimate. Approximate quantity method estimate, detailed estimate of item rate estimate, revised estimate, supplementary estimate and revised estimate, annual repair or maintenance estimate, supplementary estimate. Preliminary estimate. Pag sinasabi natin ano nga ba ang preliminary estimate? The estimate which prepared using any rough method to get the approximate cost construction anticipated in a project is called an approximate or rough estimate, since this estimate is normally prepared in the preliminary estimate. In detailed estimate, this kind of estimate which provides item-wise quantities of works, item-wise unit rates, and item-wise expenditure anticipated in the project or construction is called a detailed estimate. While abstract estimate is, this is the third and final stage in a detailed estimate. The quantities and weights of each item of work arrived in the first two stages are now entered in an abstract form. The total cost of each item of work is now calculated by multiplying the quantities and respective weights. What is quantity surveyor? A quantity surveyor is a qualified or experienced person who does the above mentioned works. Taking off, squaring, abstracting, and billing is called a quantity or quality surveyor. When we say quantity surveyors, what are those duties? First here is preparing bills of quantities, that is taking off, squaring, abstracting, and billing. Second one is preparing bills for part payments at intervals during the execution of work. The third one is preparing bill of adjustment in the case of variations ordered during the execution of work. The fourth is giving legal advice in case of court proceedings. Essential qualities of a good surveyor is, the quality surveyor must be well versed with the drawing of work. He should be able to read the drawing correctly and bill the quantities accurately. He should have a thorough knowledge of construction procedures to be adopted, the various items of works involved in the execution, and the different materials to be used in the work. The fourth one is that he should be able to prepare a schedule to be priced by tenderer. When we say lead is a crow flying horizontal distance from the center of borrow pit to the center of the earthwork at site. Example here is the center of the area of excavation to the center of placed earth. When we say lift, is the distance through which the excavated soil is lifted beyond a certain specified depth. What is estimate? An estimate is a computation or calculation of the quantities required and expenditure likely to be incurred in the construction of work. The estimate is a probable cost of a work and is determined theoretically by mathematical calculations on the plans and drawing and current rates. There is a revised estimate. When we say revised estimate, when any major change or alteration is made in the plan or structural arrangement with or without affecting the estimate cost, and when the estimate cost is likely to exceed by more than 5% during execution due to the increase in the cost of materials and labor, or due to increase in the cost of materials and labor, or due to alterations in the items of works to get the revised quantities, rates, or amount is called a revised estimate. There are methods of taking out the estimates. The first one is the central line method. Second is the crossing method. The third one is the out-to-out and in-to-out method. The fourth one is bay method. The last one is service unit method. To those five mentioned, I'm going to explain at least two of them. The out-to-out and in-to-in method. This method is most practicable under all circumstances and is generally followed in the PWD for computing the quantities of various types. While the bay method is useful and is generally followed in case of buildings having several bays. The cost of the typical bay is worked out and is then multiplied by the number of bays in that building. The extra cost of the end walls and difference in framing, if there is any, should be made so as to arrive at the correct cost. Next here is the essential requirements of contract. When we say essential requirements of contract, there must be an offer to one party and its acceptance by the other party to make an agreement. The second one, there must be an intention of both parties to create legal relations. The third one is the object of the contract must be legal and it must not be opposed to any policy of the government or company. The last one is the agreement to make a contract should be supported by consideration looking recognized by law. We have types of contract here. The first one is lump sum contract. The second one is the cost plus percentage of cost contract. The third one is item rate contract. The fourth is labor contract. The last one is integrated contracting system. There are implications of a contract here. The first one is the agreement should not violate the provisions of law. It should not have any adverse effect on the morals of the society. The third one is the form of contract should be in writing and each page of the documents of the contract should be signed by the both parties. The third one, or the last one, is a contract who refuse to carry out the work before completion can be sued in any court of law for breach of contract. There are important factors influencing the value of building. The first one is the type of the building. Second, location of the building. Third, expected life of the building. Fourth, size and shape of the building. Fifth, the present condition of the building. The last one is legal control of the building. Allow me to mention some ways or some things that is connected in cost estimate and quantity survey that I cannot put here in my presentation because of the short time. The first one is what is cost? The original cost of construction, it is used to find out the loss of value of property due to various reasons. The second one is gross income, the total amount of an income received from the property during the year without deducting outgoings. The third is net income. When we say net income, it is amount left at the end of the year after deducting all usable outgoings. Another here is, what is capitalized value? Pag sabihin natin capitalized value is diyan nagsisimula lahat ng amount or any amount of money na dapat pagkuhanan ng mga paparating na kailangan natin when we build a building. So what is capitalized value? It is defined as that amount of money whose annual interest at the highest prevailing rate will be equal to the net income received from the property. To calculate the capitalized value, it is necessary to know highest prevailing on such properties and income from the property. Another here is define sinking fund. When we say sinking fund, ito yung amount or money na hindi natin nagagamit or unused when we build a building. So here is it, a sinking fund which is gradually accumulated and set aside to reconstruct the property after the expiry of the period of utility is known as sinking fund. The sinking funds may be found out by taking a sinking fund policy with any insurance company or deposition some amount in the bank. Generally, while calculating the sinking fund, life of the building is considered. 90% of the cost of construction is used for calculations. 10% is left out as a scrap value. When we ideally build a story, there are persons who are involved here. The first here is the engineer. The second one is architect. The third one is contractor. The fourth is the labor or yung construction workers natin. I'm gonna start here kung ano nga ba ang contractor. It's a person or a firm who undertakes any type of contract is termed as contractor. The most important here is engineer. We all know engineer is the head of building a building, or he or she is a brain of building or build a building. What is engineer? He is a person appointed by the owner. He is technically very sound in the work on this job. Is to see that the work is being done by contractor entirely according to drawings and specification. The another one is, I didn't mention a while ago, is the owner. When we say owner, the person of behalf of which work is to be done, he may be an individual or firm organization. Dito tumatakbo or dito nanggagaling yung mga lahat ng gastos. Wala ang engineer, architectural, or any branch of person that is involved in kung nagpapatayo ng building kung wala ang owner na ito. Another here is the things or materials that is needed by building a building. Oh my God. Kung nagpapatayo ka ng building. First here is site. When we say site, that means the place where the work is to be executed. Kung saan mong balak patayuin yung plano na pinagawa mo. The second one here is the drawings. When we say drawings, the main person who will did this is the engineer. Dito nakapaloob yung section, map, plans, etc., which completely define the construction work. The last one here is, there are 16 marks or dapat nating tandaan when we having a quantity survey and cost estimates. What are those? The first one is they explain various types of estimate to the owner or kung sino yung client mo. Second one, those various methods of estimate, you should know it as an engineer. The third one is estimating the single room building of 30 meters squared. Yun yung pinaka at least na dapat mong alamin. The fourth is estimating the beam, estimating the column, estimate the arch depth of assumed dimension, estimating a retaining wall, estimating a rectangular slab curl weight, estimate an open well, estimate a tube well. So what are those methods of estimation of roads as what I mentioned earlier? Estimating the cost, but overall, 14 is prepare a detailed estimate of a septic tank with soak pit for 25 users. To be honest, that is the most important thing that we must consider when we are engineer on that specific residential building or a commercial building is the septic tank or a comfort room. The 15th is estimate of quantities of different items of works of an abutment with wing wall of culvert. The 16th is the details of a RCC retaining wall of 25-meter long, or prepare a detailed estimate for the work. The last one is the analysis rate of cement concrete of ratio 1 is to 2 is to 4 or 1 is to 3, 1 is to 3 is to 6. It depends upon on how big the building is or how many story the building is. Again, I am Princess Zoraida Asmatiwalu. Wassalam and thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I am Jordan A. Alimanan. I am going to tackle technical documentation about specification. Phrase, a document specification contains several parts, a description of the audiences for the document, a detailed outline giving the structure and contents of the document, and a work plan showing who is responsible for each part of the document and what the deadline are for completing each task. Second, technical specification. A contract or tender document often references technical specifications about the specific requirements and construction standards for various elements of a project. This includes how the work will be done, the quality of workmanship and methods of testing. Typically, construction projects require construction of various elements and use of various materials. More than one technical specification may be required for the whole project. For example, a construction project may require individual technical specification for earthworks, erosion and sediment controls, concrete works, fen for earthworks, erosion and sediment controls, concrete works, fencing, building works, roads, electrics. Roads, electrical system, water reticulation system. For small projects, the material and construction specifications may be documented in the form of notes in the design drawings. For larger projects, a separate specification and document is more practical. Designers will usually have suitable standard technical specification documents. However, as a guide, the specification might include descriptive title, number, identifier, etc. of the specification, date of last effective revision and revision designation, logo, or trademark to indicate the document copyright, ownership, and origin table of contents or TOC if the document is long. First, here is person or office responsible for questions on the specification, updates, and deviations. Second, the significance, scope, or importance of the specification and its intended use. Third, terminology definitions and abbreviations to clarify the meanings of the specification. References and standards used are to be complied with tests. Fourth, methods of measuring all specified characteristics. Next, material requirements, physical, mechanical, electrical, chemical, targets, and tolerances. Acceptance testing, including performance testing, requirements and tolerances, workmanship. Certifications require safety considerations and requirements environmental considerations and requirements approval authority considerations and requirements. Quality control requirements acceptance sampling inspections acceptance criteria. Person or office responsible for enforcement of the specification completion and delivery. Provisions for rejection or inspection rehearing corrective measures. Technical specification may specify a performance goal or a performance standard or procedures used to meet the performance goal, which is standard design standard. A performance standard permits flexibility and change. For example, a performance specification for a feed processing may specify that the capacity be some nominated tons per hour.